Momentum builds as we head towards the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, only less than 2 weeks away. We get a new match made for Money in the Bank. I see prize debut on SmackDown and a lot more momentum between the 6 participants heading into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, and some interesting antics from the Fashion Files. All this and more on this week's edition of the Smackdown Rebound. Hello everybody, my name is Connor, aka OKAYFABE, your official SmackDown video correspondent for OneWrestling.com, and of course, One Wrestling Video's YouTube channel. We thank you guys for coming back in and tuning in to another groundbreaking edition, one of those two, one of those words, edition of the Smackdown Rebound right here on OneWrestling.com. And thank you guys for tuning back in to the channel, of course, over at OneWrestling.com, your source for 24/7 wrestling news. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button over here on the YouTube channel. Hit that big old thumbs up if you guys like the Smackdown Rebound, as we're going to cover everything from June 6, 2017. Heading into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, a little interesting change of pace, a little interesting couple of diversions, and momentum building into the pay-per-view, including a new match, a debut, and so much more. Of course, guys, you know the routine by now. You like the shtick. We like to hear what you guys have to say. So make sure you leave your thoughts about this week's SmackDown down in the comment section below. Make sure you follow myself and the entire OneWrestling.com family. You can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/OKayFaber. Of course, follow me on the Twitter at OKayFabe, Big Ray at Big Ray Show, the Big Slam Nation, the PW Hustle, and so many more, including the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter at Apter One Wrestling. All the links for our Twitter are down in the description box below. Again, thank you guys for tuning back in and appreciate continued love and support. We are dangerously close on this channel to 20,000 subscribers. And it's all because you guys here at One Wrestling. I really appreciate it and your continued love and support. Now, SmackDown this week is going to be probably a little bit of a shorter review because I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as the matches go, but just give you guys overall results and quick recap of what's going down over on the Boy Blue brand. We actually kick things off with the show with Shane McMahon introducing all 5 women who are participating in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. All 5 women get a chance to even say their own words, kind of say why they're winning, but more importantly, Shane also reveals the Women's Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, I'll be completely honest with you guys and say that I was a little worried, a little concerned that the briefcase might be pink, but actually we get something totally different, with something I personally like a whole hell of a lot better. Briefcase is a little bit on the smaller side, a little bit more of a smoother edge as opposed to the bumpier, like kind of bulkier one that we get for the men's, and all white, which I really appreciate. Looks good, looks fantabulous, and for some reason I have an inkling that James Ellsworth's going to be holding it for some reason, but we'll talk about Money in the Bank predictions later on. As all 5 women start to bicker as to why they think they're going to win the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, Naomi, of all people, the SmackDown Women's Champion, actually interrupts and saying as much as she loves being the champion, she would actually love to be in this matchup because it's a historic matchup, the first of its kind, and she knows it's going to be lit. And that's when we get the surprising debut. Lana makes her debut on SmackDown finally after all the vignettes, claiming that she wants to be also involved in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Why not make it 6? Shane a little hesitant, but Naomi quickly steps in and gets in her face, basically asking her, who the hell have you beaten? Who are you? What? Like, you never even had a singles match. List me who you have beaten. Of course, Lana, getting a little furious, upset, storms off, quite embarrassed. So that, of course, helps Shane set things up for the first matchup of the evening, a 6 women's tag team match, and a rematch from Backlash, Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Charlotte against Carmella, Natalya, and Tamina. This matchup was pretty much a lot of the rematch that we saw from Backlash, with a little more action in between, giving the women a good amount of time, honestly, for this SmackDown. A good solid half hour to almost 40 minutes for the entire women's division to be showcased and highlighted. We saw a lot of the baby faces getting some offense at first, but then the heels cornering others as well, too, until finally we get Naomi, who gets a hot tag and a huge pop from the crowd, allowing her to come in and basically clean house. Just as she seems to be making her way to victory, Lana shows herself up once again, and as Naomi is standing on the apron, she actually sweeps, Russian leg sweep, possibly, Naomi's legs on the apron, allowing distraction for Tamina to get the pinfall victory for her and her team, giving some momentum into the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Towards the later end of the evening, Naomi actually storms into Shane McMahon's office demanding a match against Lana at Money in the Bank, and she says she doesn't even care if she puts her women's championship on the line. So not only does Lana make her debut, her official, apparently, in-ring debut will be at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view against Naomi for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Can the ravishing Russian Lana finally pull it off and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion? Or could we possibly see a cash-in? Who effing knows? We'll find out at the pay-per-view. I'll give you guys my thoughts when we get to next week's SmackDown, the go-home show for Money in the Bank. Shane McMahon actually gets seen backstage finding the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal statue just standing there. Mojo Rawley, the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal from WrestleMania 33, vents his frustrations about basically being out of action more or less and not highlighted for the last couple of months. He said that winning WrestleMania was the greatest moment of his life, but he's the only person that's really beaten Jinder Mahal since he's come to SmackDown Live. He says he deserves the opportunity. He doesn't want to be begged. He doesn't want a pity. He just wants an opportunity. And Shane finally agrees and says, you know what, you're right. Tonight, you'll get a match. And if you win your match, Mojo, you will get an opportunity to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And your opponent, of course, is the current WWE Champion, Jinder Mahal. Before we get to that, though, Fashion Files return once again. Breezango be approached by the New Day. I'm not going to go into detail about it. You guys have to go check it out. It is absolutely 100% hilariously funny. It is so good. It was just great banter back and forth where New Day is trying to help them with the Uggos, and they bribed them with horrible fashion that Fandango hated, but Breeze liked. It was just funny stuff. I can't reiterate it, react it. Just trust me and go check it out. Definitely go check it out. But we get another matchup between AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler in a rematch from last week. And I got to tell you right now, this matchup was fan-freaking-tastic. Hands down, much better than the last matchup that we saw between the two of them last week. A lot of more high-octane action, a lot of smoother pacing, and just great athleticism from both of them. When I originally saw AJ versus Dolph Ziggler advertised on any show, I instantly think it's going to be a fun match. And I'll be honest with you, that last week was kind of a little lackluster in some regards, but this one definitely, to me, lived up to the expectation, lived up to the hype. I even was impressed with how AJ Styles won, sort of reversing a small package into the Styles Clash to get the 1, 2, 3. I'm totally fine with seeing a rubber match between these two next week if we get this type of match caliber between the two athletes. Fantastic stuff. Can't wait to see what they pull off at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Now, with Mojo Rawley against Jinder Mahal, the matchup I was just mentioning beforehand, not really a whole lot to talk about as far as the match itself. Jinder basically getting more or less a squash over Mojo Rawley. But one thing I did want to mention is basically Jinder Mahal's apparently new entrance, which I thought was very elegant and very over-the-top, which I thought was very needed to build up Jinder Mahal. You guys might have seen my reviews where I mentioned that they really need to rev up and give the importance and credibility to Jinder as being a believable superstar and champion, and damn it if this one didn't do it. Basically, Jinder's new entrance is the Bollywood Boys coming out, announcing him. His coming out to his music, but nothing going on in the background. A red carpet almost rolling out in the video area, like underneath his feet. And then finally, the music hits. They even do like a 360 camera panorama like they did with Triple H at WrestleMania. And it screams superstar. And I loved everything about this because to me, the details really, the devil are in the details sometimes in terms of how you build up someone. And honestly, I feel like if he had this entrance during the 4 weeks building up to Backlash, I think maybe we could see him as a more, it wouldn't be such as a shock because they were actually treating him as a major player. Jinder Mahal cutting another promo right after his matchup, basically trashing the crowd in his dreams, just like he's going to crush the dreams of Randy Orton at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Randy Orton backstage making some comments as well, too, basically saying how he's going to reclaim the championship to pretty much close out that segment of the show. I will be honest with you guys and say that I'm a little disappointed at a little bit of lack of build for Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton round 2 at Money in the Bank. While it is interesting in some regards, I feel like they're putting more focus on the Money in the Bank participants, which you could look at either way. Personally, I feel like the championship should be more valuable, but at the same time, it's also that argument like we have at the Royal Rumble. What should truly be the main event? Should it be the Royal Rumble match because it's a bigger match type because you're getting the #1 contendership at WrestleMania, or is it realistically the championship, which is the ultimate prize that people are going for? So it's kind of one of those two toss-ups as far as that goes. But again, love to hear your thoughts, guys, again in the comment section or on social media. New Day against the Colognes. The Colognes of the Colognes. If you see the Breezango segment, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. While the Colognes unfortunately didn't get a whole lot of offense in on this matchup, New Day was highlighted very well. New Day getting the win over the Colognes in this one after they hitting the midnight hour to pick up the win. Afterwards, the Usos celebrating by actually trashing and sort of roasting each individual member of the New Day, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. I think these teams are going to really strive and really create some great stuff, and I hope it's a long-term feud. Part of me wishes that we could see more of the tag team division highlighted, the Colognes, American Alpha again, Breezango a little bit more as far as in-ring competition. I mean, Ascension's still there. There's still a lot of great teams in the tag team division. But on the flip side of that, I do hope New Day and Usos tend to push this as far as they can because they're great in-ring competitors. They're all friends with each other. They're going to be entertaining as hell, and it's just going to be some great payoffs as far as in-ring quality. So overall, I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is going to stretch far, and I hope it does because I think we're going to get some really good stuff between New Day and Usos heading beyond Money in the Bank. Now, last up here, we have, of course, a backstage interview with Sami Zayn talking about his longtime relationship with Kevin Owens and how he doesn't know, he knows pretty much everything about him. And he's actually been studying a lot of tapes about his Money in the Bank proponents. And he's pretty much got, everyone's mannerisms and rhythms down except for Shinsuke Nakamura, saying you get lost in his charisma and then you just don't know where the hell he's going to go. And that's when Baron Corbin takes him out. Corbin attacking him, saying, "Well, guess what, Sammy? Looks like he won't be making it to commentary." Sami Zayn announcing that he was going to be at commentary during the Nakamura Owens matchup, and Baron Corbin apparently decided to punch his ticket and subsequently Sami Zayn into his position. So, of course, during Shinsuke Nakamura and Kevin Owens, we hear Baron Corbin on commentary the whole time. Nakamura versus Owens is more or less Owens in control of the entire matchup, with Nakamura coming back after a missed cannonball splash in the corner by Owens. He hits the huge kick, exploder suplex, and the Kinshasa to get the 1-2-3. Corbin attacking him afterwards after the match concludes to, of course, stand with a cock of the walk to close out the show. Overall, I actually enjoyed the SmackDown. Is definitely, in my opinion, better than what we saw on Monday Night Raw. While there wasn't anything really of a wow factor this week on SmackDown, like, oh my god, you have to see it, other than perhaps the Breezango New Day segment, there really wasn't anything that was subject from the norm differently, of course, except for Lana now getting a SmackDown Women's Championship match at Money in the Bank as well. So it could divulge into a couple things there. I am honestly, legitimately very excited to see if who wins, and just how good this pay-per-view is. So far, I believe, honestly, the Money in the Bank ladder match is looking to be one of the best ones in quite some time with the core talent you have. The women's one, they're going to go all out because it's their opportunity. Lana's getting an opportunity at the SmackDown Women's Championship. The only one that I'm kind of a little iffy on is, as I mentioned before, the WWE Championship. While I love Jinder as champion, I feel like the build has been kind of put on the back burner, again, mainly because you're putting more focus on the Money in the Bank, which is, again, a catch-22 in terms of which do you put more focus on. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the SmackDown. Of course, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. What do you guys think of this week's SmackDown Live? Love to hear your thoughts again down in the comment section. Hit us up on the social media. All the links are down in the description box below for myself, Big Ray, Big Slam Nation, and of course the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter. Make sure you guys check out my stuff as well too. All the links are down in the description box below. Subscribe here on OneWrestling.com's videos YouTube channel, as we are dangerously close to 20,000 subscribers, and we appreciate the continued guys' love and support. And to quote the legendary, the iconic Mr. Bill Apter, we will see you at the matches.